For this project, you're going to need one skein of yarn, 100 grams, and a 5mm hook, or a size H hook. And this is regular worsted weight yarn that you'll need. This is a little bit thicker, but for this project, you're going to need regular worsted weight yarn. 4 ply for the US, 10 ply for Australia. So what you need to do to start off is to chain 70. So chain 70 loosely, don't make it so tight. And like I said, this yarn I'm using is a bit thicker, but it's just in hopes that you can see the stitches and everything better. So just chain 70, and I will see you back here in a moment. Okay, I only chained 30, but for your hat, you need to chain 70. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm only going to chain 30 just so I can show you what you need to do next. So what you do is you lay your chain flat. Make sure you can follow it down with your thumb like this, just to make sure that the chain is not twisted. And when you get to the end, you want to put your hook into the single loop at the top, leaving you 2 loops on the other side. And then whenever you turn your chain like this to form your ring, your 2 loops will end up at the top. Now you're going to do is just slip stitch in that beginning chain. Now you have 2 stitches on the top of the first chain. Now for the next is you want to single crochet in the stitch to the left, or if you're left-handed, to the right of the beginning stitch. So just next to, you'll go under the top loop only, and you'll single crochet. And I'm going to hide my tail as I go. So you're going to do a single crochet, and you're going to continue using just that top loop and single crochet in each stitch around. And you began with 70, but when you single crochet into the next stitch here, you'll have 69 at the end. You should have 69 stitches at the end of this round. So just continue to single crochet all the way around, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, I just came up to the very last stitch. This is where we slip stitched into, and this is our very first single crochet of the round. When you've got your ring done, you want to lay it flat and make sure that it's all going one direction. You don't want any twist in this ring. And what you'll do is you'll skip this single crochet, the slip stitch, and go right into the first single crochet of the round. So I'm going to skip this stitch and single crochet, going under both loops, and do a single crochet. And count your stitches. Make sure that you have 69. I'm going to place my marker, marking the beginning of my round, my very first stitch of the round. So for round 2 of our rim, you want to single crochet into the first 7, and you single crochet in your first single crochet of the round. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So single crochet 7, and then you want to do a single crochet decrease. And how you do that is you go into the next stitch and pull up a loop, and then you go into the following stitch and pull up a loop. Now you have loops coming from 2 stitches, and then you yarn over and you pull through all 3 loops. And then you want to repeat that all the way around. Single crochet 7, and then do 1 single crochet decrease. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I want to do my single crochet decrease, just like that. And you want to repeat that all the way around. Single crochet 7, and then do a single crochet decrease, and you'll want to repeat that until you get back up to your marker here, your first stitch of the round. Okay, I'm back up to my first stitch of the round, and for round 3 you're going to be repeating what you did for round 2. So if you single crochet all the way up to the end and you have 7 stitches, then the next stitch do a decrease. I started with 30 stitches just for this tutorial, so I have 3 single crochets leading up to my end. So I need to single crochet 4 more before I do my single crochet decrease. So just continue on like you did last time. I mean the last row. Single crochet 7 and then do a single crochet decrease. And when you get back to almost the end of your row, count your stitches. You need to stop decreasing once you have 56 stitches. Just single crochet the rest of the round. Okay, I just finished up round 3. Don't forget to count, it's very important. Now, if you're making this hat for a man, you should check. And if he lives with you or you're near him, check to see if it would be too tight, because if it is, this is the time that you can adjust it to fit the person. But the good thing about doing the rim the way we are now is because even if later on you find out that your hat is too tight, you can loosen it some. So, and if you are short on the yarn that you used, you can just do 1 row less of, you can just do 4 for the band instead of 5. So, once you get to the end of round 3, then for the next 2 rounds, we're making the size of the band now. So you can go as thick as you want once you have the right size. So you could do 2 more rows, making it 5 rows of a rim, or do another one and add 6 or 7. But you're going to be doing a row of single crochets over the other side of the chain here, which will give you 6 rows total for the rim. So just keep that in mind when you're deciding how thick you want. It's automatically going to be 6 rows. So for this row, which is round 4, and also the next round, you're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, when you reach the last stitch on round 5, you want to slip stitch in the beginning stitch of the round, and then chain 1. And now what I like to do to give my hat a nice finish is I like to do the reverse single crochet or the crab stitch. You can call it either one. And what it is you're going to be doing like a single crochet, like you normally would. Pull up a loop, pull through both loops. The only difference is you're going to be working the opposite direction. So you're going to be going back to the stitches that you just made. And it changes your hook and the way you grab the yarn slightly, so it just takes time to get used to. What you want to do is go into the next stitch like you normally would if you were going this direction, and then grab and pull some yarn through that stitch. And now you can see you have 2 loops on your hook, and then you just yarn over and pull through those 2 loops like you would a normal single crochet. The only difference, just to get used to grabbing the yarn, it's easy enough to put your hook inside the next stitch. And then I'm holding my yarn like I usually do. Just grab it to the side and pull it through. Just pull it up like this. And then pull through 2. Do 5 reverse single crochets normally in each stitch, and then on the 6th one just skip 1 stitch and then work it into the next. Skip a stitch and it will reduce your rim slightly and prevent it from getting that stretched look. I just want to show you what the stitch looks like. You can see it has kind of a bumpy look going. And this will be all the way around the hat. It'll give it a nice look so that you can't actually see the stitches anymore. So continue that all the way around, and when you get to the last stitch, which would be your beginning stitch here, I'll show you how to finish the round. Okay, now I just did my last reverse single crochet here, and this was my very first, where I slip stitch into, chained 1, and then I did my first crab stitch. So you want to slip stitch in this beginning stitch. So you're just going to go into the next stitch, grab up some yarn, pull up, slip stitch, then you'll chain 1 and cut your yarn. Cut it long enough to where you can work in your tail with a tapestry needle, because you don't want to have any tails sticking out the front of the hat where it's the most noticeable, because people are wearing it on their head. So what I do is I thread my tapestry needle and I turn where the back is facing me, and I just follow down my crab stitches, 4 or 5 crab stitches, and I'll pull my yarn through. And you can pull it to tighten this area here in between, and then just slightly tug it. And then you want to cut any excess yarn that you have. Now, like I told you before, we're going to now, this is the bottom, this is our original chain. We're now going to be working in the other side of the chain. So get your needle, your hook, and do your slip knot again. And it doesn't matter where you start. I would suggest starting somewhere away from here, because you don't want to keep, going and beginning in the same spot, because then you'll have a line. So anytime that you can begin somewhere else. So you want to insert your hook going under 1 loop only. You're only going to be working through the single loop. And you want to do a single crochet attachment. So you're just going to pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through both those loops. And that's a single crochet attachment. And it also counts as your first single crochet. So I'm moving my tail to the back here. And now again, I'm going through only 1 of the loops on the top like that. I'm doing a single crochet. And you want to work 1 single crochet going through those top loops only, all the way around. When you get back up here to the beginning, then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, I just did my last single crochet of my round, and what you want to do is slip stitch into the first stitch of the round and chain 1. And now you want to move your marker here to mark your place. Okay, I just finished my 6 rows, my band, Now I want to switch to my 5.5 millimeter hook, or my size I hook, and I'm going to start my butterfly stitch. What you do is you go in through the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through one of the loops, then you go through the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, go through 2, go through 2. Essentially, you double crochet, and then you chain 1, you go in through the next, you essentially chain 1 using half the stitch, then you go in through the next, and you double crochet, then you chain 1. Always make sure you chain 1 after. If not, then you would be decreasing. So go into the next stitch, pull through 1 loop, go through the next stitch, 3 loops on the hook, go through 2, go through 2, then chain 1, and that completes your butterfly stitch. And continue to do that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. I wanted to show you real quick a new way to end the round. What you want to do is go into the very last stitch of the round like you normally would, but we're also going to be using the long stitch on the end. So go into that very last stitch of the round, and then end your stitch into this long big stitch that was created the first time you did your butterfly stitch. You want to end your butterfly stitch into this stitch, and by doing that it will continue to be one round without any line going through it. But make sure, now that it's a continuous round, that you go ahead and you mark this beginning stitch. And that's it. Then you continue to work in the butterfly wings as normal. You're going to be doing the same thing, except you're going to be using the wings of the butterfly. You'll go into, no need to chain. I don't chain at the beginning. I just go in through the front, the first wing, chain 1. Then I go in through the next wing, and then I do my double crochet. Then you chain 1. And just like in this previous round, this is going to be the stitch that you slip stitch into at the end of the round. And you'll just continue to do this stitch for, if you're going to make an adult size, it's going to be 25 centimeters. But if you're making a smaller hat, I'm going to have all this on my webpage, and I'll have a link to my webpage in the description of this video. And you can see all the sizes and in inches and in centimeters, and it'll have all the information there for you. Again, I want to show you how to do the butterfly stitch using the butterfly. Go into the first wing, you chain 1, and then you complete the stitch by going in through the other wing. Do your double crochet, chain 1, and then just continue to do it. And every round you slip stitch at the beginning and continue on. And I'm going to be doing this until it reaches 25 centimeters, and I believe that's 17 inches. I'm not 100%, but you can always easily find out. And I can check it out, and when I come back I'll tell you in inches as well. Okay, real quick, I looked it up. 25 centimeters in inches is 9.8, so it'll be 10 inches. So when you get this to 10 inches, then I'll come back and I'll show you how to close off your hat. I wanted to show you, I forgot there's something different about round 2 of doing the butterfly stitch than first round. You want to do the last stitch of the round. This is the place that you slip stitched in at the end of the round, and it creates a little hole here. See? This is the stitch you want to slip stitch into, but you want to do the last butterfly stitch using this little hole here. So you'll go in through this first hole and do the first part of the stitch, and then you want to go into this little hole here, pull up a loop, and finish the stitch with that one. And chain 1, and then you slip stitch into that beginning stitch, and you'll do that for every round, every end of the round. Okay, I just got done with my 25 centimeters or 10 inches, and now I want to show you how to finish the hat. Once you get to the end of the row, like I did here, you want to go ahead and start single crocheting in each stitch. So go ahead and single crochet each stitch around till you get back to the beginning. And I'm going to go ahead and move my marker here from the bottom to the top. Single crochet around this row, and I'll see you back here in a minute. I just got to the end of my row, and now for this next round, I want you to go through each, do a decrease stitch, and then do a single crochet, then do a decrease stitch, and then do a single crochet, and continue to decrease every other stitch and single crochet every other stitch, and I'll see you back here. Okay, I'm at the end of my decrease round, and for the next 2 rounds, just single crochet in each stitch around, and then after that, do another decrease round. So single crochet all stitches around for 2 rows, and then I'll see you back here. Okay, I just finished my 2 rows of single crochet, and again, you want to do a row of decrease. Do the 1 decrease stitch, 1 single crochet, and then after this decrease stitch, decrease row, do a row of single crochet. Okay, I did my decrease round and my round of single crochet, and now I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more round of single crochet, and then I'm going to show you how to finish up this hat. Okay, I did my last row here. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next stitch and just slip stitch, chain 1, leave yourself a bit of a tail here to sew your hat shut at the top. Get your tapestry needle, and what I do is like you're making a pull string, you go in through 1, then you go back through the next stitch, and then back through the stitch, and then into the next stitch. Just going back and forth. I go through about 4 stitches, and then I pull the string tight. And if you guys have made one of these hats, I would love to see it on my blog. I would love to see this stitch done in many colors. I did end up discovering how to make a beanie. I haven't perfected it yet, but as soon as I do, I'll finish the pattern and get a tutorial out to you guys. Okay, so here at the end, so I'm going to go ahead, pull mine. Okay, now here I'm at the end, I'm going to go ahead and feed my hook down through the middle, turn my hat inside out, finish pulling my needle through, and then you just want to pull to tighten up the hat. And then I just go through one end of the hole to the other. Pull through until you have a little bit of a loop left. Put your needle through it and pull tight, and it's going to create a knot. I also like to do that about 3 times, just to make sure that my hole isn't going to come out. I like to also actually tie a few knots into my hat. What I do is I'll just pull and just use this loop to just tie a knot or 2 in there, because you really don't want your hat to come loose. You cut it, and then you just work in your ends. And that's it. That's how you make your butterfly slouch hat. If you like this tutorial, please click like. It really helps me out to get the word out, and share the links. And please don't forget to subscribe.